Podcast. My name is VJ Williams, here with my friend and pastor, Kevin Jack. Thank you for joining us and taking time out of your day to become a better leader. If you're new, we release a new episode every Wednesday. You can subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Get that downloaded every Wednesday. Also, share this with a friend on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, and rate and review or both. Won't believe how that helps get this podcast in the hands of so many more leaders just like you, trying to get better like us. And visit leadinghope.online, get updates, find out more about the Leading Hope community. We are moving quickly through this year already. We are on episode 211. You've titled this The Patient Leader.
The Patient Leader.
Not just the patient.
The patient
leader.
So this is what I want to get into today is I think one of the qualities that maybe our podcast audience doesn't get to see. So let me say it like this. This is a wonderful start on there as we talk through patience.
Yeah.
Is when I talk to other leaders, pastors, am in that circle, I'm pretty clear on the direction things need to go. Like if there's an issue with, I think people sit on decisions they know they need to do.
Oh, yeah.
And so they just like endure the same things over and over again. And it's just a matter of, well, that doesn't work. And so I think the part of the perception when we're so clear on these things is that we're just changing things immediately.
Yeah.
And there are some things that we are. It's just like, well, if this is clearly it and we understand this process, then why would we delay? The thing that people miss is patience in our leadership. And so if I could just say like, as a leader, I'm very patient. I'm not saying as a father. As a leader, I'm very patient.
Okay.
Like there's, you sound skeptical.
No,
I don't know how to.
I want to hear
I'm
your
headed.
explanation. I think I agree.
Like there's no
generalizing.
There's no stories of me blowing up at people.
Oh yeah, no.
There's no accounts of me yelling at our team members because they did something incorrectly.
No.
And that's like, so you go, well, you mean you're not angry? Well, patience is part of that.
Okay.
Is that good start?
Yeah.
Comfortable?
Yeah, for sure.
And I think while so much of what we talk about is when you're clear, get into it. When you know what you have to do, get into it. I think it's important that we balance it out. Things that people don't get to see in the ins and outs is the patience part of it and how important patience is as a leader.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's today.
Good.
So here's like if I could just kind of like give my perspective as to why I am a patient leader. And so we go, but you've done all this and you've had this pace and all these decisions have made, but there's 1,000 other things beneath the surface in which, so like for some of them is to understand, like I've got 3 main reasons, like why I stay patient in my leadership. The first one is just like things take time you don't move from competence to incompetence. So that may sound like I'm saying that negative. Like when you've been doing the same thing the same way, you're competent at it. When you try to do something a new way, you are incompetent at it. You are not skilled in that area. You don't move from competence to competence immediately.
Yeah.
You have to go through incompetence to learn competence in a new skill.
Right.
Is to say like, so you have to be patient in that.
Right.
Like you can't like, hey, we used to do it this way for a decade and now we're going to do it this way. And you better never get it wrong starting tomorrow.
Yep.
It's just like, well, that's stupid. Like it takes time. So like, that's the first reason.
Yeah.
It's just to go, hey, it takes time to move to a new level of competence of something you're not used to. My second reason in here is associated with that, and that is I am the thing that people don't see is I am far more obsessed about trajectory than current location.
Yeah.
People are just like, where are you? Like, I don't really care where we are.
Yeah.
I care where we're headed.
Yeah.
And it can be, I don't care if it's bad as long as it used to be awful.
Right.
If it was great and now it's bad, there's a problem.
Right.
But like, as long as we're moving, so like from competence to incompetence in order to gain competence in a new skill, as long as we're moving in that pathway, you're going to get encouragement and coaching.
Yeah.
Never frustration.
Yep.
From me on those other pieces. And then the third thing, just kind of one of the skills that I learned is just like my basic default assumption is to blame myself first. Just to go, if people didn't understand it, I probably didn't explain it well.
Right.
If people aren't doing it, they probably didn't understand what needed to happen.
Yep.
And so like rarely am I like, I've never found myself in a spot immediately jumping to blame our team of just like, why would they do that?
Yeah.
Years ago, shoot, what didn't I do? Because I just inherently believe that people have a desire to do good work. People don't love being bad at their jobs. No one's like, hey, let me go phone it in for 8 hours today or whatever that is. And so I just have that belief. And so I assume that if there's something that's terribly wrong, that at least at a minimal, I have done something that did not set them up for success, even if it's I didn't read them right in a way that they can understand.
Do you have patience with yourself in those instances?
I've learned to sometimes.
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, you're saying, hey, I don't. Now, we all get to a point where we have been clear and we have to go and see why the party hasn't gotten the instruction to get past the incompetence. But when it's you that haven't been clear and you're tough on yourself, do you have patience with yourself?
Well, I see scenarios where, like, I know when I move from more of a teaching to a preaching style.
Yeah.
I knew I was going to be bad at it at first.
Yeah.
I was frustrated.
Okay.
And I was aggravated that I wasn't better at it quicker. But I knew that was the process.
Yep.
I had to go through in order to get there.
So you just were patient in that season to say, hey, I'm going to have to give this some time before I can actually get out of frustration and get into growth.
Yeah.
Good. The thing I would say about you, and I would agree wholeheartedly with the patience in that scenario when you're talking about, hey, we're allowing for people to grasp so they can grow.
Yep.
Is you look for trends.
Yes.
Is the way I would describe it. Like, you know what I mean? I hate to give it like it's like almost like the stock market.
No,
it's like, you know what I mean?
No.
Like you look at like just because this fell this quarter, doesn't mean that it's not
individual
rising.
Data points are worthless.
Right. Exactly.
Trends are everything.
And the trends is what you're really, and so you have patience because you're looking for trends. I would say where patient ends for you, maybe I should speak for myself.
No, you go.
For myself is on effort and attitude.
Absolutely.
Like not a lot of patience there.
No, that's fair. Because it's completely, well, also
completely
the trend lines go in the wrong direction.
Right, of course.
But
when we talk about having patience, it's more of, hey, this thing that we're trying to do isn't exactly doing what we want to do, but it's headed kind of that way, so I'm gonna give it time.
Yep.
How do we as leaders learn how to do that when we want it all to be done right now?
I mean, I don't know, like, I don't know how to, you going through like the off-quoted, when you ask God for patience, he does not give you patience. He gives you the opportunity for patience.
Yeah, no, I'm just asking in general. Like,
but like, how do we gain patience? Like, well, you know how you gain patience? You're patient. You're patient.
Yeah.
Like that's how you learn the virtue of it. We just the other day, our team was going through data points from the whole year. Yeah. And we saw claim, if you're unfamiliar with our system culture, claims kind of like our onboarding class into the church, into serving particularly, helps claim identity, claim your gifting, claim God's purpose, because without all three of those, you can never claim your overall, oh, I said the wrong thing. And claim your identity, claim your gifting, claim God's mission. Without those three, you can't fully claim your purpose.
Yep.
So we're going through that, and they're sharing like how October through December, the number, like the people who are going through claim has gone up significantly, in particularly the people who don't have a relationship with Jesus. And they're going through like, yeah, we've got like 8 people in this class right now who say they have not committed their lives to Jesus. Right. They have not experienced, who are going through claim. Yeah. Yeah. And like that wasn't happening early on.
Right.
And so like my point at the end of it was to go, we've now been doing this for 15 months.
Right.
And it's taken it 15 months to actually create the culture that we were looking to create.
Right.
And then like I look at that, and then the other day we tried something in one service, tried to tweak something in how we did it. And people were immediately like, oh, that didn't go well. Let's change it back. I was like, could we give it a minute?
Yeah.
Can we give it just a little bit of time? Because if we're trying it new, we're going to be bad first. Yeah. We're going to be incompetent first. And if we keep regressing, then let's give it up.
Yeah.
But we need to give it time in order for it to develop and adapt and see what it actually is.
Well, our natural position, even as leaders, is did I like it?
Yes.
And that's how we base patience. We base patience off, did I like it?
Yeah.
Right? Like me individually, did I like it? Right? You know, we falsely cover that in, I believe they also may not have liked it or liked it. Either way.
But I think the piece that I want to hit at even more though is just to go like, did you like it? Well,
did it work?
Well, even if it didn't, like it needs to.
Does it have the potential?
Thomas Edison, like I didn't fail this many times, whatever. It's a different number every single time I hear someone tell the story. Yeah. I didn't fail 587 times in making a light bulb. I learned 578 ways not to make a light bulb.
Right.
And so to just go like, I feel like when it comes to culture and systems and people and development, and just to go, if you're not going to be there as quick as you think you're going to be there.
Yeah.
And if you don't learn how to look at trends and obsess about that and be patient in that,
right,
you're never going to get to where you want it to actually be.
Yeah. So based on that information, how do you develop, so this is where I think people try to make this a science.
Yeah.
Like patience as a science. Well, I can be patient for 4 weeks. Then I can't have patience. Like it's not that. It's an art. Like it's a feel. It's a data. It's a
conversations that you and I will have.
Okay.
Is like legit. Like it's to go, hey, I don't like the direction this is headed. Like I'll say that to you.
Right.
And you go, I believe that it'll work.
Yeah.
I trust you.
Yeah.
And what that trust means is not it's turned around the next time I notice it.
Yes.
What that trust means is that, and there's been times that you've backed off and like later on you got, no, it's not working.
Right.
Okay. I have patience in your ability to discern the situation and what is the trend eventually going to become.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
And how did you develop that patience? Because it's not natural. Most people at high levels of leadership,
they think
they will say they'll insert themselves, or generally they'll insert themselves.
Yeah,
and they'll make a decision based off of.
If I could maybe backtrack on that statement just a smidge of, I think most people at high levels actually are really patient.
Okay,
high ability. Because you can get promoted and not have ability. And so we'll equate that like, oh, this person's a tyrant. Doesn't mean they're good.
Yeah.
So like I look at the story of whatever you think of character, this is not the point of the process, is to go like, there was a time when the Tesla like manufacturing line was a disaster.
Oh, yeah.
And Elon Musk was in there sleeping on the factory floor, like brought in a mattress, cot, whatever, and was sleeping on the floor in order to make it right. He didn't pull the plug on it. Now, some of that could be other reasons of like, if he would have pulled the plug on it, he would have been broke. Yeah. And he had a huge opportunity there. But to say like, it took time for them to figure it out.
Yeah.
And even though he was working diligently, they weren't going to go from the manufacturing. This is how most people would do it. The manufacturing is a mess. Let me hold a meeting, tell everyone what they have to do, assume it's fixed, and then fire everyone when it isn't fixed.
Yeah.
And they go, no, it takes time. And I think the thing that people, I feel like I'm almost wanting to defend myself a little bit, which sounds really strange because it's just us here.
Yeah.
I think the thing that people might think when they look at us is just to go, oh, you're just like firing shots. Here you go, making it happen. And to go, no. Like, you don't have it. Like, most people don't have any grasp. I'll hear a new pastor come into a church or a new leader into an organization. The conversation's more with new pastors. And I told him, this is the way we're going. I was like, you can't do that then.
Yeah.
No one knows you. No one even likes you. Like, how can you do that then? And just to go, like, pull it back a little bit. If you're gonna be able to run later, you have to be willing to walk now. And so people aren't willing to walk because they think, oh, I just need to run.
Yeah. What are other instances where patience really provides opportunities for not just you individually, but for your organization to thrive?
Oh, that's a great question. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because I think the adage is patience is a virtue. Like, why? Like, or what are the opportunities that actually practically provides you that if you're impatient won't?
Yeah, everything, like the plant takes time to spring up. The weed springs up overnight.
Yeah.
And so I just go, great ideas are developed. Great experiences are developed. Great people are developed over time.
Yeah.
I'm really grateful at 16, honestly, I'll trace it back to that. I got opportunities to be bad because I couldn't be good at what I do if I wasn't bad in other areas. Yep. And when I was bad at some stuff, like I go, first time I gave a message, it wasn't good. It's just like, there's no way it was good. It couldn't be good. Yep. Like, it wasn't good. And someone didn't look at that and go, oh, he doesn't have gifting. He doesn't have skill in that area. It was like, told too many jokes. Let's get him out of here. No.
Yep.
There was patience. And so I think maybe that's the piece.
You gave a message about that a couple weeks ago, in the God that is underneath. And you talked about that, which is real important. Go back and watch that, whoever's paying attention.
The leaders who I were under were patient with me. Yeah. The thing that maybe I would clarify is they needed higher standards, so I knew where I needed to head other than just show up. But they were patient with me. Cool. And so it's a lot easier for me to be patient with others.
Last question, and we've got 3 minutes. You got 3 minutes for this one. A lot of times we want to act as leaders. We want where we become impatient quickly is that we feel that the momentum, that word, momentum. Yep. We need to strike while the iron's hot. Yep. We've got to keep it going. We gotta. Yep. What does the leader listening right now that doesn't say that's bad, but in light of patience, needs to change so that it's holistic and not just in the moment so they can see the vision come to fruition?
My quick answer and then the longer answer is worse than losing momentum is out-kicking your coverage. Yeah. We lost momentum. They're like, well, we got to keep momentum. Well, now you're operating at an ability that is completely unsustainable. And to go, like, we talked about, like, the benefit of big. And like, if you have only thrown events of 100 people and 10,000 people show up, you've got momentum. You also have a PR disaster because there's no way you're doing that well. Yeah. And so, like, that's a massive piece on there for people to be aware of. I think the longer answer on that of like wanting to strike while there is, you have to know personal aptitude and to say, like, if you're really slow in your pace, this isn't the talk for you. Because I'm now validating the worst part of you. Yeah. Patience is a balance. Mm-hmm. And I want people to see that, like, we're navigating where we stand. We're not trying to swing from one side of the pendulum to the other. Yep. I'm not advocating patience in all things. Right. I'm advocating for great things take time. Yeah. And if you're unwilling to let them take time, they'll never become great.
That's good. Great. That's all we have got time for today. If you're new to the podcast or haven't yet subscribed, it'd mean the world to us if you did that now. Also, post about it. Rate and review or both. You won't believe how that helps get this podcast in the hands of so many more leaders just like you. Make sure you subscribe. We love hearing your stories of how the podcast is working in your life and business. If you have a story, DM us on Instagram or Facebook, however you want to get that to us, or visit leadinghope.online, and we'll be able to hear that from you and talk to you because we love hearing your stories. And then everyone has 20 minutes to learn to become a better leader. Make it count. Woo!